Good morning, students. Today's topic which we will be covering is osmosis. Yesterday just a small introduction I gave you about osmosis, right? To demonstrate osmosis, I have done a small experiment over here. If you see, these are nothing but the raisins, right? The black raisins which are there. These black raisins which are there, I soaked them in water. Okay, overnight I soaked them in water, and if you see now, they have just swollen like anything. Okay, they have just swollen. If you see them, completely swollen. Okay, and the another one also you can see that the other reason this is also swollen. Now this process itself is called as osmosis, and this osmosis process is beneficial for the absorption of water in the roots. Now if you see, these raisins are swollen, so what is the reason behind the swelling of these raisins, right? Why they have swollen? Okay, so for this we need to understand first what is actually called as osmosis. Now osmosis is nothing but movement of water molecules from a region of high concentration to a region of low concentration in presence of a semi-permeable membrane. So here if you see, I have made a semi-permeable membrane. Now actually what is this semi-permeable membrane? Semi-permeable membrane is nothing but it allows only few substances to get inside it. It's like a filter, you can say. Only few substances can pass through the semi-permeable membrane. So we say osmosis is the movement of water molecules from the region of high concentration, that's the dilute solution or low solute concentration. Now dilute solution means more amount of water. Low solute means solute is nothing but the, we can take sugar is a solute, salt is a solute, right? So that's low solute concentration. To the region of low concentration, that's concentrated solution. Concentrated solution, sugar solution is a concentrated solution, right? High solute, more number of solute will be there in the solvent. If water and sugar is taken, sugar is the solute and water is the solvent through a semi permeable membrane. That's what I explained you, that here there is a semi permeable membrane. Now osmosis is just like similar with the diffusion process, but diffusion which is there, it takes place in liquids and gases, but osmosis will be taking place only between liquids. Okay, and the important thing to note over here is there is a movement of water molecules here. The water molecules are moving, they are moving from the high concentration to a low concentration. So now let us understand. Here I have made a small diagram which is explaining us about osmosis. Now here high concentration means this solution is dilute solution means it will be having a very little amount of water, or we can say that very little amount of solute in this. Okay, very little amount of sugar. But here if you see, we say that it's a concentrated solution. That means it has high number of sugar molecules, a lot of sugar molecules are there, so we can say it's a high concentration. So here what will happen? So what is osmosis? Movement of water molecules. So the water molecules will be moving from here, they are moving from this high concentration, from this dilute solution to the concentrated solution. So water molecules will be moving over here. Okay, so water molecules are moving at this side. So that's the reason we say that this process is called as osmosis, and this is the semi permeable membrane in that. Okay, so if you see, I have drawn two sugar molecules over here. Okay, and from this particular point it is moving up to here. The water which is at a low concentration, I mean the water which is, we can say that it's having a low solute, is moving over here. High concentration means here high concentration of water molecules. Low concentration means low concentration of water molecules. Don't get confused in this. Okay, so you can just see the diagram here. So this is a diagram of osmosis which I have written over here. Now there are two types of osmosis. One is endoosmosis and one is exoosmosis. So depending on the extent of the concentration of solutions. So here I have written endoosmosis is inward diffusion of water through a semi-permeable membrane when the surrounding water is less concentrated. Okay, and this tends to swell up the cell. So here I am bringing my raisins back again. So if you see, this process is called as endoosmosis. Why endoosmosis? Because here the water solution which is there, right, it here we can say that the surrounding water, we can say okay, and here this particular inside this, the resins which are there, they have swollen, so inward diffusion of water through a semi permeable when the surrounding solution is less concentrated. Now here if you see, there is no sugar content or there is nothing in that, there is just plain water. So what has happened, this water is got inside the resins, and because this water went inside the resins, okay, the resins did not have any water molecules before soaking, right? All the water molecules have gone into the resins and the resins have swollen. So this is endoosmosis, inward diffusion of water through a semi-permeable membrane, so inside, and this tends to swell. So that is the reason these resins have swollen. So this is endoosmosis. Then what is exoosmosis? Exoosmosis is the outward diffusion when the surrounding solution is more concentrated. Now here what we are going to do is, same resins, if I take these same resins, okay, and I remove them and I put them in sugar solution, okay, I put them in concentrated sugar solution. If these resins I remove and take them in sugar solution, so what will happen to these resins? They will shrink. Why will they shrink? Because the surrounding solution is more concentrated. Surrounding solution will be having it will be containing all sugar solution, but what is present inside the resins now? Completely water is there, right? So slowly this water molecule, okay, it will be getting inside the sugar solution, okay, and that's the result. What will happen? These resins will keep on shrinking. So this will cause the shrinkage. I hope you are clear with the concept. Endoosmosis, inward diffusion of water causes swelling. Exoosmosis, outward diffusion of water, which causes the shrinkage. So I hope you are clear with these 2 points, which is endoosmosis, exoosmosis. Once again I repeat, endoosmosis, inward diffusion of water through a semi-permeable membrane when the surrounding solution is less concentrated, okay, and exoosmosis means the outward diffusion when the surrounding solution is more concentrated, which causes the shrinkage of the cell. Now on page number 40, there is one small question. I had told that we will be answering it tomorrow. If the concentration of the surrounding solution is same as that inside the cell, in which direction will the net movement of water molecules be across the cell membrane? So take an example of resins again. What would happen if both the medium, okay, this particular medium and this particular medium, if you see over here, both of them have water, right, and this is also water, okay. Now if you observe these two particular resins, say after 1 hour, you will find them the same. Why? Because there will be no more osmosis, there will be no net movement, okay. The water will neither it will move inward nor it will move outward, so there will be no net movement. So that time it's an isotonic solution, which we will be seeing later, okay. So I hope you are clear with the type of exoosmosis and endoosmosis. Now let us go to the experiment number 2, which is explaining us about osmosis. Now here if you see this experimental setup, okay, here this is the thistle funnel which is there, okay, this is the thistle funnel, okay. The thistle funnel which is there, it is covered with it is having the sugar solution in it, and the mouth of it, okay, the mouth of the thistle funnel, you can say it is covered with cellophane paper. Cellophane paper basically it is like a gelatin paper, okay, cellophane paper, or it is covered with egg membrane or animal bladder also. Animal bladder, basically goat's bladder and all, it is taken, and with that it is covered. Now why cellophane paper, why egg membrane, or why animal bladder is because these are all semi-permeable membranes, okay. So here they are covered, the thistle funnel is covered over here, okay. Now you have to just mark the initial level of the sugar solution. What is present inside this? Sugar solution is present. What is present over here? It's nothing but normal water. So I have just marked the level over here. So we have just marked the initial level, okay. And as a control means for comparison, take another setup, okay. And in another setup, what will you do? In the other setup, you will also take a thistle funnel, but in that other setup, okay, say for example this is A, and in B what you will do? Same thistle funnel you will take, but inside that thistle funnel you are going to put water, okay, and the beaker also, same thing, okay. Are you getting? A, let us take A, that is sugar solution as well as beaker, and in B same thistle funnel, but in the thistle funnel water, and same, that's the beaker, okay. So here we are going to see what happens. So after some times you will be observing that the level of the sugar solution, okay, the thistle funnel, the level of the thistle funnel has raised, okay, after few hours. You have to see it after few hours, okay. So this, there is a rise, but what happens to the control, as a control which we have taken, what happens to it? Say for example, I will just draw it over here as a control. So see here, same thing, the thistle funnel will be there, okay. What is present inside the thistle funnel now? There is water, and here the beaker, and this beaker also has the water. Here if you see, this was the initial level. For example, the initial level in control, that is B, remains the same, okay. If this was the initial level, the initial level remains the same, but here what has happened? The initial level has raised, okay, it has raised, okay. Then afterwards, the level of the thistle funnel in the control remains unchanged. The level of the beaker, after some times, here the level which has raised, it will fall off little it will fall, okay. So here if the water, and what will you do is, if you taste the water in the beaker, okay, if you must be feeling that it will be sweet, no, it is not sweet. The water in the beaker will not be sweet, okay. Just a revision again, what we did in the experiment, we took a thistle funnel. In the thistle funnel we took the sugar solution, outside it there is a water solution is there, okay. And as a comparison we took control B, okay, as for a comparison, same thing, but inside the thistle funnel we put water. After some times we saw here the level rises, here the level will be remaining the same. After some times you will see that there is a drop in the level. I'll explain you why. So some drop is there in the level, and if you taste this water solution after the drop, okay, what is there? It's not sweet. So what are the conclusions of this? What can we conclude? So three main conclusions are there of this. So in the experimental setup, you can see that some of the water from the beaker has passed through the cellophane paper to enter the thistle funnel containing the solution. So from where, why did the level rise? The level has risen because the water molecules from here have gone inside the thistle funnel, okay. They have gone inside. From where? From the semi-permeable membrane, okay. Why? Because this was at, we can say it is a dilute solution of water, right. So if dilute solution of water, more number of water molecules means high concentration of water. Slowly it is going to the lower concentration of water, so the water is getting inside the thistle funnel, okay. But the sugar from this thistle funnel does not pass over here. The sugar from here does not pass over here. Why? Because there is a semi-permeable membrane, and this semi-permeable membrane will not allow the sugar molecules to pass, okay. They are not allowing the sugar molecules to pass. So sugar from the thistle funnel has not passed. Cellophane paper acts as a permeable membrane, different, we can say selectively permeable membrane. So it allowed only the water molecules to pass, but not the sugar molecules, okay. It did not allow the sugar molecules to pass through it, okay. Only the water molecules could pass. So I hope this experimental setup is clear. So what happened here actually, okay, here the water from the beaker has entered the thistle funnel, and because of this the level has raised. So from the water which is having more number of water molecules, high concentration has passed through low concentration which has less number of water molecules, and because of the water passing into it, the level has raised. So this is about osmosis, okay. The sugar molecules could not pass into the beaker, that's the reason the water in the beaker was not sweet. So this is about the osmosis. Fine, I hope it is clear. Now modified version of experiment number 2, that's experiment 3. So in experiment number 3, they are saying that if you slightly modify the experimental setup by taking more concentrated solution in the thistle funnel, okay, and very dilute or less concentrated solution sugar in the beaker, so again it will be the same. So here what they are saying is, if for example, okay, here if we are taking more concentrated sugar solution and here we are taking less or dilute concentrated solution, same thing will be observed. Same thing, what will happen, the level of the sugar solution inside it will rise, okay. The same setup will be there through the crossing through the cellophane paper. I hope you are understanding each and every point very clearly, okay. Now let us go to the next thing. If in place of the cellophane paper I am taking rubber sheet and muslin cloth, okay, if I take a rubber sheet, I cover the thistle funnel with a rubber sheet. So what will happen over here? Okay, what will happen? There will be nothing will happen over here, so there will be no change. Why? Because the rubber sheet which is there, it is impermeable. Impermeable means which does not allow the water molecules to pass. Impermeable means which will not allow the water molecules to pass. Okay, so it's an impermeable substance. This rubber sheet is an impermeable substance. And if in the second case, if we are taking muslin cloth is a red colored cloth. Usually it is on the pots and all. You can see red color muslin cloth. When your mother is making curd and all, she must be using the muslin cloth. You can ask her to show you once. Okay, so when we are taking the muslin cloth, what will happen? Muslin cloth, if you cover this with muslin cloth, all the sugar solution will be getting mixed up with the water. Why? Because it is a freely permeable medium. Muslin cloth is a freely permeable, means it is easily allowing the sugar molecules to pass. Okay, you cannot take the muslin cloth here, you cannot take the rubber sheet. Why you can't take the rubber sheet? Because rubber sheet is impermeable. Muslin cloth you cannot take because muslin cloth is a freely permeable medium. So what are we supposed to take? So if we take a whisking bag, now whisking bag is nothing but we call it as a semi-permeable membrane, and it is used in the labs, and it is also called as a dialysis tube. It has nothing to do with dialysis, but we can say that it's a semi-permeable membrane. You can just Google and see how a whisking bag looks. Okay, now you just take the whisking bag and you place it. You place the sugar solution in the knotted. You can see in figure 4.5 how how this particular bag is kept. That is the whisking bag. Okay, so the whisking bag is kept over here. It's in the sugar solution. A knot is tied over here. This is the water. This is the sugar solution inside, binding just to bind it, and there is a capillary tube in it. So what will happen? Since this is a semi-permeable membrane, all the water, okay, the water will be moving from the high concentration to the low concentration of water over here. So there will be water which will be entering the whisking bag, and what will happen? The initial level will be here, the level will be rising. So this rise is why? Because the water molecules will be diffusing, will be passing through the wall of the whisking bag. So we can say whisking bag is a semi-permeable membrane. It's a semi-permeable membrane. So three types of membranes we studied over here. Cellophane paper, it's a semi-permeable membrane. Then whisking bag, semi-permeable membrane. Then rubber sheet, impermeable membrane, and muslin cloth, freely permeable membrane. Okay, if these experimental questions can be asked on this, so you have to be very clear with all these things. Okay, I hope it is clear. Now let us go to the two key points in the above experiment. So what did we observe here? Okay, so here we observed that, a summary of these two experiments. In that we observe that there will be always two liquids. Okay, as I told you, osmosis is only in the liquids, it is not present in the gases, right? So osmosis, we can say that here we will be having two different liquids, and those two liquids will be with different concentrations. One can be less, one can be more concentrated. So here the sugar solution which is there, it has a high concentration of sugar molecules, whereas there may be fewer or no sugar molecules in the beaker. Okay, so here we are just going through to this experiment. So what we can see over here is, let us see 4.4 itself. So here if you see the 4.4, we can say that the sugar solution has a higher concentration of sugar molecules, okay, whereas there will be very few or no sugar molecules in the beaker. Okay, and it is very important to understand that the concentration can also be visualized from the side of a solvent. Okay, when we are observing the solute, okay, when we are considering the solute, just listen carefully. When we are considering the solute, sugar solution has more amount of solute rather than that of water. So your sugar solution, we can say it is concentrated, and here it's less concentrated when we are considering the solute. Okay, and when we are considering the solvent, this will be less concentrated, this will be more concentrated. Why this will be more concentrated? Because there is no amount of solute present. I hope you are clear with this with the point of solvent. So here if we are visualizing with the point of solvent, there are more water molecules in the beaker, right, than in the volume of the sugar. So thus there are two regions of different, we can say, different concentration, which is called as the tonicity. Okay, tonicity, or it's called as a tonicity. So there are two different regions of concentrations, it's called as the tonicity. which you may express in the following ways. Okay, I hope you are clear. With regards to solute, just now I explained one point, that if we have solute, okay, I'll just explain the thing again. If we have solute, okay, and this is sugar solution, so with consideration to solute, this is concentrated and this is water, so this is dilute. But if we consider solvent, with view of solvent, okay, this is sugar solution, so less number of water molecules, so this will be dilute, and here water, so this will be concentrated because there is more number of water molecules with respect to solvent. So the same thing they have told us, that when we visualize from the side of solvent, there are more water molecules in unit volume in the beaker than in the same volume of the sugar solution. So there are two regions, that's the two regions are, let us see the first region, two regions of different concentrations of water molecules and two regions of different concentration of sugar molecules. Are you clear? Are you clear with it? So same thing I have told, two regions of different concentration of water molecules, two different regions of concentration of sugar molecules. I hope this concept is very clear with everyone now. Okay, so we can say that this is the observation, these are the observation from the experiments. Okay, and the next part is, so we got two different regions, and the next part is the semi-permeable membrane. So these two liquids, very important. If there is no semi-permeable membrane, then what kind of process it will be then? It will be a kind of diffusion process, right? Just the mixing. So because of the presence of semi-permeable membrane, it makes it osmosis. Okay, the semi-permeable is one which allows the passage of water molecules. It allows the solvent to pass through it freely, but prevents the passage of solute. Okay, it does not allow the solute, sugar molecules, salt molecules, whatever it is, it will not allow that, only it will allow the water molecules to pass. So this is the two observations from the experiment. First observation from the experiment, that there are two regions of different concentration of water molecules, two regions of different concentration of sugar molecules, and the next reason is that semi-permeable membrane which is there, it will allow only the passage of molecules which is selectively, only selective. That means the solute or the sugar which is a solute or the salt is not allowed, only the water molecules. Then a next question, now you must be thinking that osmosis, osmosis, osmosis. Now how long will the osmosis takes place? Now I will just bring the reasons back again. Can you see any osmosis now? Okay, now it has been 22 minutes that I am speaking, and I had shown you these particular reasons before 22 minutes. Can you see them? Any change in them? They are the same, right? Now they are done. Okay, they cannot further undergo osmosis. Why? Because they are at equilibrium with the water as well as with the reasons. So we can say that theoretically osmosis should continue until the concentration of water molecules become equal, that is isotonic, both the concentration equal, these both the concentration equal, osmosis stop, no more osmosis. Okay, so here in the experiment 4.4, column of sugar solution in Thistle funnel keeps rising. So here if you see, it is keeping on rising, right? And after some times you can say that the level is decreasing, so no more osmosis can take place in this. Okay, and as it is been as we can say that the height is increasing, as well as the weight of the sugar solution will also increase, because more number of water molecules are getting inside it. Such an increase in the height and weight will rise, and then afterwards when the height and the weight will be raised, the osmosis will be stopped, and one stage will reach where there will be no more osmosis. There will be no more osmosis across, even if the concentration of water molecules is not same on both the two sides, then also there will be a stage when the height and the weight of that particular solution increases. Okay, in the state of equilibrium, water molecules in the beaker tend to force upwards above the membrane, but the weight of pressure from above holds them downwards. So what do we mean by this point? Here after a certain point, what is happening? Here water molecules are getting in, so all this is liquid, all these are liquids, so obviously liquid pressures will be there in this. So pressure of what? The molecules getting inside, and as well as the downward pressure. Okay, the pressure, that's the upward and the downward pressure. So we can say upwards because it has to go up, but the weight or the pressure also holding them downwards. So two types of pressures are acting on this. So with that we come to another point which is called as osmotic pressure. Now what is osmotic pressure? I hope you are clear with all the 3 points about what are the key points in the discussion. How long the osmosis can take place? Osmosis can take place only when both of them have attained equilibrium, but there is a certain stage also that a stage will also reach where there will be no osmosis. Why? Even if both the concentrations are at different, there will be no osmosis. The reason is that that particular solution cannot withstand the water more. Now it cannot hold. It's a saturated solution, we can say saturated stage, you can say. Okay, now what is actually osmotic pressure here? Osmotic pressure, if you see here in the above experiment, there is an airtight piston which is taken over here. This piston is bearing some weight which was introduced in the Thistle funnel from the beginning. Okay, the level of the solution would not rise at all, and thereby there was no entry of water. So we may say osmotic pressure is equal to the weight or pressure required to nullify osmosis. Now here if you see what has happened, here completely it is blocked. Okay, even though there will be some part of osmosis taking place, where will it go? There is a pressure over here. This whole thing is blocking. Okay, this whole thing is blocking the level of water over here, and as a result of this, what happens? There will be no osmosis. So we can say osmotic pressure is equal to the weight of the pressure. So weight of the pressure, that means this pressure exerted downwards is equal with the osmosis pressure which is from here. This is upward pressure, downward pressure, upward pressure of the piston, downward pressure of the osmosis. So what happens? It nullifies the osmosis. So no osmosis will be taking place in such condition. So what is osmotic pressure? It's the minimum pressure that must be exerted to prevent the passage of pure solvent into the solution when the two are separated by semi-permeable. So passage of pure solvent into the solution, that means how much amount of, we can say that how much amount of water will it be entering into the sugar solution, or we can say the tendency, okay, measure of its tendency to take in water. Okay, how much water will it be taking, okay, by osmosis. So here there will be an osmotic pressure, measure of tendency to take in the water. Okay, that's the measure of tendency. Okay, then the last point which is there, which is called as the tonicity. I hope osmotic pressure is very clear. Osmotic pressure, minimum pressure that can be exerted to prevent the passage of pure solvent. Okay, now the next part which is called as the tonicity. Tonicity is the relative concentration of the solutions that determine the direct and the extent of diffusion, which is called as tonicity. Relative concentration of solutions that determine direction and extent of diffusion, that means how will the water go, inward or outward, the direction. Okay, extent, is it a concentrated or a dilute? That's determining the tonicity, and based on that we have three different tonicity, that is isotonic, hypotonic as well as hypertonic. So I have just made three distinguishing points for it. Isotonic, when we say it's isotonic, relatively concentration of water molecules and solute on either side of cell membrane is same, which means what? The first case, the question's answer, okay, which was there. Okay, on page 40, the answer, concentration of surrounding solution is same, so we can say isotonic. So can I say now this has become an isotonic solution, right? No more water going inside, no more water coming outside. Okay, so that is called as the isotonic solution, as well as no net movement of water molecules, so no osmosis. So this is a isotonic solution, no osmosis now. Okay, then hypotonic solution means what? In this condition we can say that the solution outside the cell has a lower concentration than the fluids inside the cell. So water molecules from outside will enter the cell. As we had endoosmosis, again reasons endoosmosis. Okay, solution outside the cell, okay, it is low concentrated. Okay, low solute concentration. Low solute concentration means what? Okay, we will say that low solute concentration means more number of water molecules, right? More number of water molecules. So where will it go now? Directly inside the cell. So molecule from outside will enter the cell. That's why endoosmosis. That is the reasons. They are swollen. So endoosmosis. That's called as a hypotonic solution, which is called as hypotonic. Okay. In hypertonic, what happens? So hypotonic solution means what? Hypotonic solution means what? Lower solute concentration. Hypertonic means what? more solute concentration in the water. So solution outside the cell has high solute concentration. That means sugar solution, right? Sugar solution is hypertonic solution. So water molecules from the interior move out. Okay, again the example of raisins. If we take the raisins and put them in sugar solution, what will happen? These swollen raisins, when we take them and put it into the sugar solution, what will happen? Exoosmosis, right? The sugar, the raisins from the sugar, raisins which are there, they will be giving the water from them into the sugar solution. So that is exoosmosis, moving water from the interior of the cell which is going out. I hope every point is very clear. Okay, and finally we can say that the result of all this is, if the cell shape and size is unchanged, solution outside is isotonic. Which cells? Cells inside the root, cell inside the plants, these cells. And if the cell shrinks in size and loses shape, okay, if it shrinks and loses the shape, it's the solution outside is hypertonic. Solution outside is hypertonic. And if the cell enlarges or even bursts at some conditions, then the solution outside is hypotonic. The solution outside is hypotonic. So in case of plant cells, okay, so here these are all the three things. So in case of plant cell, the cell wall is there which is giving the rigidity. So this is about plasmolysis and flaccidity, which I will explain you later. Now when the cell is fully distended, the cell is called as the turgid cell. Turgid cell means these are the turgid cells. This is turgidity, no more it can take the water. So I hope all the points are very clear. If you have any doubts, you can ask me later. Okay, thank you so much.